So Abraham moves into the land where Abimelech is, and they're building relationship before entering a covenant. And that's extremely, extremely important. And so before you enter a covenant, whether it's marriage, whether it's a business deal, whether it's a church, an organization, you need to ask yourself the question, am I and this other person, are we walking together in the same direction? Do we have the same goal in mind? In this church setting, does the leaders understand God in the way I understand God? Are we moving in the same direction, or are we just kind of missing each other, or someone going sideways? One of the things that happened when Crossroads was established, that we were planted as a church from other affiliations that we had, and I began to realize that the vision that God had placed upon Wanda and I, and where we felt like that we were supposed to go, that our present oversight wasn't going to work for us. That we needed new oversight. We needed to connect with somebody else that could really share the vision we had and stretch us into achieving that vision that we had. And so I'd heard Larry Crowder, which is International Director of Dove, speak several times, and I really liked him. I thought he was great. I thought the way that he communicated, his heart for ministry and missions, I just really connected with him. And then somebody gave me this really tip. He says, if you're thinking about connecting, this would apply to an organization or maybe a church or a movement. He says, listen to the primary leader. You might not know that person personally, but listen to the primary leader of that organization or that group. And if you connect with their heart, you'll probably connect with the organization. But if you don't connect with the primary leader's heart, you probably won't connect with the organization. I remembered that. And so we've been with Dove now almost 20 years, and it's been a great experience together. And so, again, Abraham and Abimelech, they're living in the same land, and they're getting to know one another before they enter covenant. When Wanda and I met, we knew each other in a social setting for about a year, and then we formally started dating, and then we're engaged, and then another 6 months we got married. So it's about a 2-year process. That's not what I was hunting for, but that'll work, all right? So anyhow, let's go on. But on the surface of things, we're very different. We're, talk about, are we going the same direction of somebody you make covenant? We're very different. I grew up on a farm. She grew up in the city. She had a dad that was a first-generation Christian. On my family, I had generations of dads as Christians. She went to a Christian college. I did not. She has 2 music degrees. I do not. She was very well known in our denomination. I was not. What drew us together? She's a light sleeper. I am not. What drew us together? It was really this issue of we had the same spiritual hunger together. We had the same desire to honor God equally. We had the same desire to grow. We had the same desire to live on the cutting edge of what God was doing. It wasn't all those peripheral things, even though they presented challenges at times. They didn't matter as much as the core key root in our lives. And that's why we formed covenant together. And we're 31 years into this thing, and it's amazing. It just keeps getting better.